Going into our second trend for 2024, this trend is really centered around exploration, and we're calling this trend "I Did It My Way." There's been a term coined for the 2020s, which is kind of the decade of destruction. People are increasingly exploring paths which are less traveled. Traditionally, there have been certain features that people have when they think of an image of a successful life. However, we're seeing growing interest in kind of the alternatives as well. So, concepts such as a soft life or lazy jobs are things that are trending on TikTok. And also, the term quiet quitting was quite popular last year. So we're seeing concepts also like having a personal truth, fractional living, and also veganism, which is centered around choosing a specific diet which actually meets the needs of your bodies, opposed to eating what you're supposed to eat, such as like the classic 5 a day fruit and veg. So we're seeing kind of that exploring the path less traveled as a key theme in 2024. One of the ways that we're seeing this come to life um, is through an increased spending on services. So, spending on services is something that was picked up post pandemic and is also continuing to increase, potentially driven by a new appreciation that people have of experiences because they were unable to do so during the pandemic times. But what we're seeing now is kind of a shift from the haves to the haves nots to the do's to the do nots. So people are starting to value experiences over assets. And why things that were kind of traditional stabilizing markers like having a car or having a house or a smartphone are actually becoming less appealing when we move into deeper economic instability. They're becoming more of kind of an unwanted anchor, particularly in terms of kind of the larger aspects like a car or a house, where in turbulent times, people are more likely to be enjoying kind of freedom experiences, and then not having that sense of being tied or held back with these kind of more physical sets as well. When people are looking at what activities they're anticipating to be increasing and doing more of, actually travel and leisure was at the top of the list. You can see some of the verbatims on the right hand side here. In 2024, I'm looking forward to allocating more of my budget towards vacations and enriching my experiences during my leisure time. Thinking about a brand perspective, brands should really pave the way for people to take those paths less traveled. So, acknowledging kind of the non traditional paths through a life centric approach potentially will help you to build deeper connections with your audience. Looking for ways to facilitate those new experiences that people are seeking and also challenge traditions where they want to. So, question for Juliana here: what is your thoughts on this kind of more experiential trend?
For me, this trend is also have a deeper sense, and it represents like better or hope for a better future. Because what it seems on my reading is also that there is a new mindset overall that we are seeing, like with the people and new generations, and they're challenging a little more of beyond like the role of the business, the economy, and all as a human being. So we realize that things cannot continue uh, to be the same because we have finite resources. And it's not only about money, like money. It's if you say it's about like time, or it's more than time. It's about your focus, and maybe that's why we also see all the trend on the experience, because you really are forced in the experience to be there and not doing 100 things at a time. So subsequently, like this may help us to rethink business model, new business model, considering the needs and the well-being of multiple stakeholders, not only like simply maximizing profits. And what is really interesting is that with the new technology, we might see also a lot of entrepreneurs coming here and exploring in this space, because it's a very rich space that we can play in. And just food for thought on this space is that the new roles are being written, and brands and companies are impacted directly because everything is just moving too quickly. Uh, and we're facing some dilemmas, and some such as how can our brands or company serve the society broadly and delivering also like the experience that they're needed. And more importantly for me, sometimes do we have the right credentials to be in this place? Because you might think, oh, I have a brilliant idea about this wonderful experience, but then it's like, is your brand really good? Like it fits that space? Because if not, we have incongruences there.